I'm going to cast on a scarf that has 33 stitches, and we're going to begin in one by one rib. Right now the scarf that I'm working on happens to be the group project for Addi King Loomers and Knits. So here is one completely acceptable cast on. If using the all-in-one board, drop your loop on one needle, peg, then E-wrap across and at the diagonal, and continue like that until we have 33 stitches in total wrapped. Now you could do this straight across on one board and purl in the normal way, but I prefer to purl my stitches across the board, as I've shown you in another video. Because we began with an odd number, both end stitches will be on one of the boards, and that's fine. Now you know how to continue E-wrapping and making the knit and purl stitches using both boards, because I've done that in another video. However, this is not the cast on and beginning that I'm actually going to use. I'm going to chain stitch around each of the needles that I plan to use, knit one row, and then transfer like this. I'm using a latch tool, but of course you could also use a crochet hook if you were good at it. You need to keep your stitches loose so they won't be too difficult to knit over. And chain 33 across. I'm only going to do a few of these because I've shown it in another video. But I'll be back to you in a few minutes when I've completed my 33, and we will knit the first row together so you can see how it works. Now I'm all cast on, and I'm going to knit the entire row as plain knit stitches. My preferred knit stitch is really the U stitch, almost a flat stitch, but I give my yarn over, the loop that goes over, a tug downward to loosen the stitch. This comes out a non-twisted, completely V-shaped like normal knitting needles knit stitch, and I just like doing it better than I like some other ways of working. So we'll work across the entire row like this. Oops, can't drop one. Making sure that the stitches are not overly tight, which is essential to the next row. And I'll see you when this row is complete. Our 33 knit stitches are complete. Now to get to the knit one, purl one setup, I'm going to transfer every other stitch to the other board. And this is where I'll find out if I've made anything too tight. That's pushing it. I may have to go back and wrap some differently. Yep, I've been too tight, even though I told you to be careful of that. So I need to go back and wrap mine, well, knit my first row a little more loosely. See you when I get it done. I have recast on. And here's a trick I use when I am unable to get my stitches loose enough to move the first row across the bed for one by one rib. Even though I'm not going to E-wrap the whole project, I'm going to loosely E-wrap this row. What is the reason? Because E-wrap stitches have a little bit more yarn in them automatically. And this will help me, I hope, to get the size right. We'll soon see. This seems to be working better. Watch what happens. I lift it off and you can still see the twist. We don't really want that twist. We just want the length provided by the twist. So I untwist it and hang it. Untwist and hang, and so on across. When we're done with this, we'll be ready to wrap for normal, well, normal for me anyway, knit one, purl one stitches across the board. Like then we knit them over. And we'll do this for the entire 10 rows. I say the entire 10 rows, but you're not looking at the pattern, are you? This pattern begins with 10 rows of knit 1, purl 1, rib. If it did not, if it was some other number, then we'd knit another number of knit 1, purl 1 rows. Just like that.